Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. It's hump day. How is your week going? Mine's going well and I'm in a really good mood today. I just booked another night on Airbnb. As I told you, I'm going to the States next Wednesday and I had already booked, to be up there the day before. I had booked a little room on Airbnb for Tuesday night. Actually a different one than I've been staying in. I actually found a cheaper one that looks pretty nice, and it's kind of like a little yoga center, so I might have a chance to do some yoga classes there. I might have told you this yesterday. I told you I'm senile, I forget stuff. Anyhow, had it booked for Tuesday night, and I'm sitting around this morning thinking, next week is Semana Santa, the Holy Week, Easter. It gets crazy crowded here. It's not going to be a whole lot of fun. The city's nice, the weather's nice. I'm said for that kind of price, $25, $27. Why not just go to the city an extra day? So I just booked for Monday. So I'm excited. I'll be in the city for a couple of nights, chilling out, eating some good food, wandering around, hanging out in the parks, and I love the city. But anyhow, topic today is bad choices on the raw vegan lifestyle, because you're obsessed. People are obsessed with the raw vegan lifestyle. One thing I would say about this lifestyle, if you're a newbie to it or whatever, is when you get to this lifestyle, educate yourself a little bit on it, learn more and more about it, learn the basics of it, learn the mechanics of it, learn how it works. And fairly soon after you come to this lifestyle, know why you're doing this lifestyle. Have your reason set in your head. And don't do the lifestyle just to be part of a club. Don't do the lifestyle just to have a certain label. Don't just do the lifestyle blindly because you stumbled into it and you're just letting people lead you around and you're just kind of doing it willy-nilly. One of the main points I'm going to focus on today is fat in the raw vegan lifestyle. But there's a lot of different, I watch conversations and I pay attention and I kind of quietly troll. I don't know if that's the proper word if I'm not saying anything, but I watch things a lot. I just want to know what's going on. I want to know how people are thinking. I watch people. I'm aware of people that I've never spoken to. I'm aware of things they say over and over and over. So I watch comments a lot of times, and a lot of the comments just seem like, you know that person. You know that person. You're connected in a forum, in a group. Maybe you see them make comments on videos that just like they're the keeper of the law. No matter what little thing, there might be some little ingredient in there. I get a kick when people, there's certain little things like the nori wraps, whether they're toasted or raw. And just some of these little ingredients that are like, they're kind of border. It's like, well, we don't know. Are these fully raw? Are these raw? Oh, these aren't raw. You're eating nuts. There ain't no raw nuts. Blah, blah, blah. You're not fully raw. And then people get all upset because they can't claim that they were fully raw. Well, as I've probably mentioned a number of times, I don't really care about that label. I could care less about that label. I don't care how people want to label me, how they see me in this world. I am in this thing to improve my health and continually feel better, and for me personally, try to slow down this aging process. And so far, I'm very happy with the way things are going. Now, like I say, I mention from time to time, or I might mention something that might seem negative towards raw veganism. I'm a raw vegan. I eat fully raw down here, except for the aforementioned things, that there might be some little items that I don't know, that there might be some small ingredients. So maybe I'm 98.7 while I'm down here in Costa Rica. But I know the reasons I'm doing it, and I make my choices accordingly. When I go back to the States, I make my choices accordingly. I eat cooked food when I go back to the States, but it's healthy cooked food. One of the things that got me thinking about this a couple of days ago is, I've been spending a good bit of time on Pinterest and, like I say, hearing what people say. And I see all the time people that are real proud of that label. They're fully raw, and they're constant, like their feed. Maybe if they're fully raw and they're a fire and brimstone fully raw, their Instagram feed, their Pinterest feed, it's a lot of peanut butter pies. It's a lot of dishes with, and I know what just kind of got me on this the other day. Somebody that's a hardcore raw vegan, raw is law, never eats cooked food. Cooked food is the devil. And good Lord, what was in that recipe? There was a cup of cashews in the recipe, But what caught my attention, it wasn't just a cup of cashews. It was there was more fat involved than just one cup of cashews. So a lot of people are sacrificing. It's like, okay, raw is law, raw above everything. Number one priority is to always stay raw. Number one priority is to always stay raw, even if you're picking something that's raw that might be a poorer choice over something that you might get that's cooked. And in particularly the fat in this high raw vegan lifestyle, this fully raw vegan lifestyle. Now, you know, if you're doing the high fruit thing, like you know, I don't necessarily, I hate the little cliche slogans, and I used to kind of be like, I'd be like, roll my eyes at the fat you eat is the fat you wear. But I'm starting to see, to a certain extent, that is right. That's true. It's just like, you know, I don't try to take the most extreme version of everything. I think I used to be a little bit averse to that, because the people that were saying that all the time were kind of like uber, ultra, low fat all the time type people. And I'm not necessarily, I don't necessarily lean that far to think that you have to go to be like below 5% all the time. But when we're eating, especially a lot of sugar, when you're eating a high fruit diet, I'm even seeing some of these people that kind of consider themselves fruitarians, or even if they don't consider themselves fruitarians, a lot of their diet is fruit. It's very, very high fruit, but it's also very high fat. I jotted down a few numbers down there, and just for people, you know, a lot of you that watch this and that are familiar with the lifestyle, been around this lifestyle a lot, this will be basics for you, but it comes down like, for the blood sugar, let's talk about bad choices from the health issue and not just from the being overweight first. Okay, the fat, blood sugar issues. Fat influences blood sugar more than anything else. Now, your body is meant to, is designed to process the sugar we eat very easily. And it's this sugar that fuels every cell of the body. And hey, don't anybody crucify me on the science. I'm like trying to talk science as best as I can from a layman's terminology, talking generalities. I know I will screw it up all day long because I'm not a science person. But when we have this high fat in the body, it prevents, if I'm explaining this right, which I could be wrong, it's preventing that fat. The fat is preventing that sugar from being dispersed to the body and feeding those cells, and that's where the high and trapping it in the bloodstream, and that's where the high blood sugar comes from. So I mean, you know, when people are making these choices of high fat, overcooked, when they're already eating fruit, I'm not going there. And like I say, this channel is always going to be about me and my opinions. So I like to phrase it like that so nobody can say, you're absolutely wrong. Well, possibly I can be wrong, but I'm not. Hey, anything that I ever mention here, go verify it for yourself. Try it on yourself. Check it out. Just don't buy me, you know, without checking me out or like seeing if it works for you. But yeah, the high fat, that's just, listen, I'm never going to go there. Like I say, I'm going to the States. It would be much easier for me. Now, this is a good case in point. It would be easy for me to stay raw. And I could do it. I could stay raw. I'm just lazy. I don't choose to jump around and go all, you know, make all this effort when I'm in the States. I could do it. I could probably stay low fat and stay all raw. But what would mostly mean up there in Alabama for me, it would come down to a choice of higher fat or cooking some of my food, which is clean and no fat, no salt, no oil, no nothing in there. You know, like the greens, you know, steaming, like boiling collard greens, steaming broccoli and Brussels sprouts. But the point being, like I say, I'm never going to try to convince you to eat cooked food. I'm never going to try to convince you, if you're fully wrong, that you need to eat cooked food or you should eat cooked food. All I'm going to try to say is make your choices based on health and not just on what am I? Am I a raw vegan? Am I raw 4? Blah, blah, blah. Because I don't think you're helping yourself if you were choosing poor raw vegan choices over actually quite healthy cooked healthy vegan choices. You know, let's just get off the labels. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's just get off the labels and let's focus on the health. But I talk about that all the time. I beat it into the ground. I just wanted to bring that fat issue in there. You can if you make these poor choices just all in the name of raw veganism, you're going to have blood sugar issues. If I understand correctly, that can lead, the fat and the sugar leads to the candida issues. And from what I've seen too, I've seen also too some fully raw vegans that have weight problems, have expressed that they have problems losing the weight, and they're eating too much fat because they have to stay raw vegan. And they're not focusing on their health, they're not focusing on the weight loss, they're just focusing on this label. Cooked food is poison, raw is law, all these little slogans. Not my way of thinking, but hey, just my 2 cents worth. Your mileage may vary. Anyhow, hope you guys like this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and hope you're having a wonderful week. Peace.